what's up? Welcome back to another video. So if you guys are new here, my name is Chanina. Hey girl, hey. So in today's video, y'all, just gonna go over some general information about the Arise Virtual Solutions platform. I do this every now and again on this channel. So if you're new here, I post lifestyle vlogs and content related to working from home. So I have an email that I got about 5 days ago, and I so apologize to this person because I didn't even see it, but they had some general questions about working on the platform, and I get these questions all the time. So I figured I would answer some of these questions in this video and then give y'all a little bit more information. So Arise Virtual Solutions is basically a platform that you're able to go on to service clients through a virtual call center type of way. So basically it's contract based. Everybody that goes on there are independent contractors. This is not like an employee situation where you get like 401k benefits or anything like that. You're strictly a 1099 independent contractor. So when you go onto the platform, you do go through like a registration process. You have to register to work on the platform. It's a private platform. So you have to register to be able to work on the platform, and then once you get through that part, then you'll have options to service different clients. Now we have a lot of clients on the portal. A lot of them are like cruise clients, home improvement clients, stuff like that, but you're able to go and choose which client you want to provide services to. So basically what that means is you'll be at home at your workstation, so like your desk, and you'll have a headset and all the things that you need for calls to come in. There's a couple of programs that you would have to download to your computer, security programs to your app and stuff like that to be able to log on to all this stuff. And basically you're a customer service agent or technical support or sales, right? So you're that person that when people have questions about something, or they have an issue, or they need to place an order or make a payment, stuff like that, you're that person that they're talking to. So like for example, let's say you have T-Mobile as your phone service, right? And you've got something going on with your phone and you need to speak to someone in customer service. There's normally a number that you dial, and then you get an agent to assist you, right? So that's basically what I do. I work for one of the cruise clients on the portal in the customer service department. So people call, they ask questions, we help them out with payments, we book some of the cruises, things like that. So it's basically customer service, right? And you're able to do this by registering to the platform. There is a certification enrollment fee. So like I said, it's not an employee type of setup, it's an independent contractor setup. So as an independent contractor, if you're not familiar with the differences, I do recommend you guys to go to irs.gov so that you can see what the difference is between a 1099 independent contractor and a W-2 employee, because there is a major difference. One of the big differences is taxes. So when you are getting your service revenue, you won't see any taxes deducted, which means you will be responsible at the end of the year when filing taxes to pay your taxes, right? So that's one of the major differences when it comes to an independent contractor. Believe it or not, this is not the only platform that operates under independent contractor status. There are so many companies out here that offer their services under a contract type of scenario. So I am a independent business owner, so that just means that I have my own virtual call center partnered with the Arise Virtual Solutions. So I basically recruit agents who want to work from home. I get them set up, and then they go through the class, the certification class, and then they take calls. And basically that's it. I pay them every twice a month. Arise pays twice a month, so I distribute their payroll twice a month, and I just charge a IBO fee, and that's it. There is a platform usage fee. The platform usage fee is $19.75 per payroll invoice. So if you're receiving a service revenue payout, then you will see a deduction of $19.75. That's the platform usage fee. That is just automatic. That has nothing to do with IBOs or anything like that. Everyone who uses the platform has to pay that fee, right? So that's another thing with being an independent contractor. As an independent contractor, in most scenarios, you are flipping your own bill as far as education, equipment, and supplies, and training. In our world, we don't call it training though, we just call it certification, right? And it's an ongoing certification. So you're not in your certification class for just that time frame and then that's it, the learning is over. No. There's continuing certification. So once you've paid your money to enroll in the certification class, you get certified and you start taking calls. The longer you service the client, the more certification opportunities you'll have. For upskills, if any policies change, you'll have huddles. Like there's all types of different resources, right? So you're not just, you go through this class and then you're left on your own. Okay, there's a whole team of people within the Arise network that you'll be assigned. So like your quality assurance facilitator, your performance facilitator, your instructor, all these people are there to basically help you to succeed at what you're doing, because the reality is you are at home, so you're not being micromanaged. You don't have someone like looking over your shoulders and stuff like that. A lot of this just takes discipline, to be honest with you. You just have to discipline yourself and know, hey, I have to go to work. I have to go to work, right? It's really easy to get extremely comfortable with this platform because you are working at home. So a lot of it is self-motivation, right? It's going to really take you to get up and service your intervals, to make sure you're going to these huddles when your facilitator has them, you know, doing all the things so that you are keeping up with the information for the client that you're servicing, so that your calls go a little bit smoother, right? So let me jump into this email because I've got a few questions. So one of the questions is, and this is from Asher, I'm not going to say your last name, but Asher, thank you for reaching out to me to my email, and I do apologize for not responding. Once I'm done with this video, I will send it to you so that you can go back and refer to it. So the first question that Asher had was, do you seriously need a dual monitor? It is recommended. I personally recommend it. I've been working on the platform for about 5 years now, and I've always found it beneficial to have two screens, because you'll have multiple systems that you're going to be maneuvering from, and it just makes your life a little easier if you've got some of the stuff on one screen and then you're able to pull up stuff on the other screen. It gets chaotic when you're trying to do everything on one screen. Like, honestly. Now, you don't have to have two screens, but I guarantee you'll thank me later when you do. Okay, so I would recommend doing dual monitors. If you want to roll with just one, just to see how it go, you're more than welcome to do that. And then later on, if you want to add an additional monitor to your workstation, you're more than welcome to do that as well. You're not going to get in trouble or get kicked out of a client's class or anything like that just because you're only using one monitor. Me personally, I would just recommend you have two, because it makes everything a lot easier. The client that I service for, we have so many things that we pull up that I have some things on one screen. Like, for example, I have my booking system on one screen, always up, but on my other screen I have my chat room, because you have to be logged into a chat room, and then I have all my different resources to help me with my calls on the other screen. So it works out. I've serviced 3 clients on the platform, and I'm telling you, there's never been a moment where I felt like one screen was sufficient. Okay, in certification class, I've witnessed people trying to use one monitor and they were struggling because they were trying to pull something up, but then they had to move that out the way to pull something else up. And you have to keep in mind, you do have a call handling time, like your metrics and stuff, so you want to eliminate anything that will cause you to not meet those metrics. So if you have 2 screens, I'm telling you, that'll help you a lot. Okay, if you have one screen, you run into a chance of your call times being a little bit longer because you're having to, again, move something out the way just to pull something up, so on and so forth. So that's why I recommend that. Let's see, what else did he say? He says his neighbor used to work for them, and he claimed that it's not needed, nor either. What? Okay, hold on. It says, my neighbor used to work for them, and he claimed it's not needed, and neither is a direct connection with a desktop. Okay, Do not listen to your friend, because it may have been that way in the past, but now you definitely need a direct connection. You cannot service any clients over Wi-Fi connection, because Wi-Fi connection is not a secure connection. And you're going to be dealing with people's personal information, possibly taking payments for people. So you're going to be asking for credit card information and doing a lot of things with people's personal information. So you definitely want to make sure you are hardwired in with a USB cord from your modem to your computer, okay? You cannot do Wi-Fi with Arise. Now, with other companies, I have no idea because I don't service for other companies, but I'm telling you, don't even try to get around it, okay? Because your instructor will know if you're over Wi-Fi, because there's certain little things that will happen as far as connectivity, and that'll be like a dead giveaway, okay? So I would not try to shortcut anything. Y'all just do it the right way, and you'll have a better success with this platform, okay? Do not use Wi-Fi. Asher, don't use Wi-Fi, okay? It's not gonna work out, and you could possibly cause yourself to get dropped from servicing that particular client if they find out, okay? He says, I personally use Wi-Fi and cannot use Direct Connect on my desktop. I don't see why that would be an issue, neither that nor me having two monitors. It's not an issue as far as having two monitors. That's just a personal preference. Like I said, there are people that use one monitor, but I'm just telling you from personal experience, it is a bit of a struggle depending on what client you're servicing for, because a lot of clients have several systems that you're going to be logging into and have to have up the whole time you're servicing and things like that. So it just really works out better if you have two monitors. But if you don't want to have two monitors, then of course that's your prerogative, okay? All right, so, and back to the Wi-Fi, you were saying you don't see why that would be an issue. It is going to be an issue because, again, you're dealing with people's personal information. So you want to have a secured connection, and you'll be logging into a VPN. So you will not be able to do any of this on Wi-Fi, okay? I'm just letting you know, you will not be able to do any of this over Wi-Fi. It is an unsecured connection, and Arise requires you to service on a secured connection, okay? So the next thing was fees. I have heard very conflicting reports that the fees range from several hundreds to less than $20 for training, certification, okay? So I don't know about the hundreds of dollars part, but yeah, the general range is from $19 to about $250. But to be honest with you, in the past couple of years, in the past maybe 2 years or so, I haven't seen a certification class that was more than $150. So a lot of times Arise will do specials where they'll offer free classes, or they'll lower the prices of the classes. So that's one of those things where once you register to the platform, you just have to be active on the platform so that you can catch those specials, because they happen all the time, especially with the pandemic. When it first started, there was a lot of months where a lot of the certification classes were free. You know what I mean? So it just depends, but it's not, I haven't seen one yet that was more than $250 that I noticed. I can't think of one client where it would probably be that much. It's like a medical client. But for the most part, a lot of the classes are, you know, $20, $10. It just really depends. You have to keep logging in and kind of check, because they change pretty often and they don't give you like a heads up to let you know, hey, the course is dry. I mean, they might send that notification out to people registered on the platform who hasn't done anything or has been inactive, as like a marketing thing to get them to go ahead and become active. But for the most part, how I notice it is I'm logging into my portal like multiple times throughout the day. So I'll see it, and then I try to let my agents know, those who are inactive, I try to let them know, hey, certification classes are free right now until such, 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 such. But as far as being like hundreds of dollars, now I can say this, back in the day When Arise first came on the scene, yes, it was. It was expensive to work on the platform. There were classes that were like 250, 300 in addition to CPS 101 class, which was like, I think $100 or something like that. And this is before you even enroll into a certification class. So there's a lot that has changed. Like, you no longer have to do the CSP 101, pay $100. You don't have to do that anymore, but you still are responsible for paying for the certification class enrollment. Now, again, they vary, you know what I mean? I can see where you would feel like it's conflicting information because of how the platform used to be, and it was very expensive to work on the platform, nor was it really talked about. So a lot of people thought it was like a scam and it wasn't really legit, but it is a really legit company, okay? And there's other companies like it. So yes, the classes, you'll generally hear from IBOs and other people say that the classes are going to range from $19 to about $250. But honestly, there's so many times where classes aren't even $250 or where they aren't even $20. Okay, so you just have to go on the platform and then kind of just keep an eye on it. If you're on a budget or something and there's a particular client that you want to service and maybe the cost of certification is too high, then keep an eye out for it, because once the classes are filled, if they need more agents, they'll put out another class, and that class may be cheaper than the one you were eyeballing. You get what I'm saying? I've seen that happen, where, like, for example, one of the cruise clients, I think their class at one time was like $50, and then for like a couple of days it was completely free. But you wouldn't have known that unless you logged onto the platform. You know what I'm saying? So it ranges. It ranges, you know. So the next question is training 2 to 4 weeks or 4 to 6 weeks, or does it depend on the client? It definitely depends on the client. Arise has been working really hard to try and shorten some of the certification classes. So they can range, depending on the client, they can range till about 2 weeks to 6, 8 weeks. It just depends on the class. Now, I'm just going to say this. I know that a lot of people come to the platform and they kind of get turned off by the longevity of the certification class, but just think of it like this. If you came to the platform and you immediately just start taking calls, would you feel confident with that? You know what I mean? And I don't think you will, because to be honest with you guys, these certification classes basically giving you a mountain of information so that you're able to service your calls correctly. So you have to learn about the client that you're servicing. And a lot of times, even though a class may be like 6, 8 weeks, sometimes that's not even enough, right? When you finally get on the live calls and then you realize, oh my gosh, I didn't learn this, or how do I do that? Or like, I've had people say that they wish the classes were longer, and then I've had people say that they wanted to quit because the classes were too long. You know what I mean? So it just really a preference thing. You know, a lot of people, some people do get discouraged for the certification classes, but the truth is, from my personal experience having agents and stuff like that, there's one main reason why people get discouraged with the certification class. It's because it's not paid, right? In a W-2 scenario, you know, the trainings, paid trainings, you're at a physical location and all that jazz. Well, independent contractor scenario is set up a little bit different. So when you're in certification class, no, you do not get paid right away. But I'm going to let you know, there's a point in your certification class where you come to an end of your certification class and you start doing your calls. So once you start doing that, that's when you start getting paid, right? You'll still be in certification, but that's when you'll start getting your coins, because you're basically providing a service at that point. You know what I mean? So yes, you do get paid for that. And then as you continue certification, you'll still get paid even when you're out of class and you jump on the phones or taking live calls, you get paid for all of that. Now, in the very beginning of the certification class, no, you don't. you don't get paid, right? So that turns a lot of people off, because they're like, well, why don't I get paid for training, or why am I sitting in this class for 4 hours a day, 5 days a week, and I'm not getting paid for it? Well, at that point, you have to decide if this opportunity is for you or not. And this is why I try to give you all the deets or the details prior to even jumping on the platform, so that you know what you're getting into. Because it's not a bad thing. It's just a matter of preference. You know what I mean? Some people can make it through certification without it being an issue that they're not getting paid. And some people will start certification and be done with it like a week later. You know what I mean? That's just the reality of it. So yeah, the class times or the class durations are definitely going to vary depending on the client. Okay. All right, so the next thing that they said is, I have a very good security software on my PC. Microsoft even told me outright, you don't need to install Microsoft Security Essentials. Your version of Windows includes updated version of Windows Defender. It literally will not install due to me having Windows Defender. So I don't see how or why I would change that. You don't have to. As long as it works and it protects your computer and it meets the qualifications to work on the platform. Because here's the thing, you can't just jump on the platform and start working, right? Your equipment has to be able to handle their systems. So it has to pass what we call a PC or personal computer technical scan. And so the platform checks your computer system to make sure it's compatible with what they're looking for in order for you to service on the platform. So if Microsoft Security Essentials, if you already have a Defender on your computer, then it may not be necessary to download the Microsoft Security Essentials, versus someone who doesn't have a Defender on their computer. They may need to download that. When I first started working on the platform, I had a whole different computer system, and I had to download the Microsoft Security Essentials because Norton virus wasn't compatible with the platform. And that's what I had on my computer. I had the Norton virus, so I had to take that off in order to put Microsoft Security Essentials on, in order for my computer to meet the security requirements through the platform. So that's also going to vary. It depends on your computer, how updated your computer is. When I started on the platform, I had a very old laptop that I was using, and it didn't meet the security requirements as far as protecting your computer and things like that, so from viruses and all that. So that's why I had to do that. But if you have a computer that has that set up on there already, then I wouldn't worry about it. If you're having trouble with it and you've already registered to the platform, go to tech support so that they can take a look to see what needs to be adjusted so that you meet everything that's required when you do your PC scan, right? All right, so I hope that answered that question. I went to Indeed and struggled to understand this. Do not go to Indeed to get information for this particular company. Go to ariseworkfromhome.com, and it'll basically give you all the information you need, pretty much everything. If you watch my play, and I'm not just saying this to Asher, but I'm saying it to all of you guys. If you view my playlist and pay close attention to what I'm saying in all of those videos, you'll notice that it pretty much mirrors what the website says, right? Because it's straightforward information. I'm just giving it to you in a different type of way, but it's pretty much the same information. So everything that I'm telling you guys is information you can literally find on the Arise Work From Home website. Okay, like the only thing that might be different is how I run my virtual call center. As far as what I do for like onboarding and payouts and all that kind of stuff, that's really the only thing that's going to be different, because all IBOs run their businesses differently. But the general information of working on the platform is there. Okay, so if you haven't checked out my playlist, go check it out. It's Working Home with Arise Virtual Solutions, and Everything that you want to know about working on the platform is there. If you want to confirm that information, you're more than welcome to go over to the website and check it out there as well. I would not go on Indeed.com to find information about Arise, because if you want legit information, straightforward to the point information, the meat and potatoes of it all, go to the website, get your information there first, okay? All right, so yeah, so don't go to Indeed, just go straight to the source. So it says, I went to Indeed and struggled to understand, okay, so why people couldn't or wouldn't make it through training certification. So there's many reasons on why people don't make it through certification. One reason could, like I had mentioned a little while ago, some people they went into it thinking, they were under a notion that they were going to get paid during certification from the very beginning, and when they realized they wasn't, they dropped the class, right? Some people drop the class because it doesn't work with their work schedules and things like that. Because the thing is, when you're signing up or enrolling into a certification class, you can pick the class time that you want to do. Well, sometimes that class time don't always work, so the person may drop the class. Another reason why people fall out of certification is not being able to keep up with the pre-work or the work in general. So there is work because, again, you're in a virtual certification class, so it's just like going to school, you guys. You're going to have self-paced work that's going to be required for you to do, and then some assessments. And that work pretty much starts before your first day, right? And the whole point of all of your self assessments and classwork and all that is to prepare you for the very next day. So a lot of times the information that you're getting for homework is because that's what you're going to be discussing in the class that next day. So it helps to go ahead and do it. But believe it or not, there are some people that fall off because they fall behind with the coursework, which is understandable because a lot of people come to this platform and they have jobs already. They just want to do this part-time. They have other things going on in life, so the times may not necessarily work out as far as the class, so they decide to drop the class. Some people has dropped the class also for personal reasons, health reasons, death in the family, things like that. So it really depends on the situation. I have agents who go ahead and go through the class and they certify, and then I have some that for whatever reason they don't complete the class and they want to be removed from the class. Now, another reason why people don't really, while some people, because I'm not going to say all, but there are some people that don't complete certification, is because the instructor drops them from certification class. So here's what happens. When you go to certification, you do have to attend every single day, right? And you only get like 1 or 2 days that you're able to miss before they completely just drop you from the class. So that happens. So there's many different reasons on why people don't complete certification. Is certification easy? For me, it depended on the client. When I worked my first client, it was pretty easy, but that's because I was excited to have a job. And then the second client, I struggled a little bit because it was for sales and I'm not a salesperson, but I made it through and serviced that client for like 2 years. And then the client that I have now, the certification was fairly easy once you got the hang of it. So it really depends on the person, you know what I mean? Everybody is different. Everybody grasps the information differently. Everybody moves at their own pace and all of that. This is all going to be based on you and your efforts. You know what I mean? If you're going to class every single day and you're keeping up with the self-paced and you're taking notes and you're applying the information that's given to you on your practice calls and on your live calls, then you should be okay. If you start falling behind and not turning in assignments and all that kind of stuff, then yeah, you might get dropped from the class because you're not doing anything. So that's how that works. It really just depends on the person. You know what I mean? It can be hard for some and it can be easy for others. It just really depends. it honestly, it can be fairly easy if you're taking notes and you're actually in class and you're actually participating. I'm saying that because their next statement after why people couldn't or wouldn't make it through training is, it seems from what their friend told them and from watching my video, it seems easy, all things considered. And yeah, it is. All things considered, it can be easy. It can only be a challenge if you make it a challenge. You get what I'm saying? And I say that because I've seen it. I've been in certification classes where there's been a person or two that has made it harder than what it had to be. Only to find out the reason why is because they were behind, they weren't paying attention, they didn't do none of the work, they weren't in class. All those things play a part in it. So it can be easy if you allow it to just flow. If you're patient and you allow it to just flow, then yes, it can be easy. If you're the type of person that don't have any patience, you want instant gratification, then no, it's not going to be easy. You're going to get frustrated and you're going to want to quit. Okay. So you do have to have a lot of patience, because first and foremost, technical issues. So let's talk about that for a second, because I don't want you guys to think when you get on this platform that you're not going to have any issues. Yes, you will. Okay. You heard it from me first. Yes, you will have technical issues. That's just the way it is. We're dealing with technology, and sometimes technology is not our friends. Okay. Fortunately, there is tech support on the platform. So anytime you have issues, you don't have to outsource and go pay a technician to come look at your computer, because a lot of times it might not even be your computer, okay? It could be their systems, your clients' applications, their software, and all that. So that's why they offer tech support on the platform for issues like that, and a bunch of other reasons. But the main reason is issues like that. You can go there if you're not able to log into one of your applications, or you're getting an error message, or something's going on with your computer and it's client related, then yes, you go to technical support, and then you get it all worked out. They'll give you an incident number so that the time you missed can be waived. It won't count against you. You don't get paid for being in technical support, but it won't be a negative impact for you not servicing the time that you couldn't service, right? So yeah, it's just really like this platform, you guys. There's other platforms out there, but I'm just telling you guys, I think that some people come to this platform and they overthink the process, because it's really like not hard at all. Like, it's straightforward to the point. There's no hidden nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, like, you're not gonna wake up 6 months later and then be like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that. No, Chanina is telling you everything. Okay, Chanina is telling you everything. And the reason I do that is because as an IBO, that helps to cut down a lot of questions for me if I just go in and give you the information outright, right? You don't have to wonder, you don't have to guess, you know what it is. So but yeah, don't struggle to understand why some people make it through certification and why some people don't, because it's really the person. You know what I'm saying? It's based on the person and what they want to do, because ultimately you are in control of all of this. You choose the client that you want to service. You choose the certification class that you want to be in. You make sure you do all your self-paced. You make sure you show up to every class. You make sure you're doing your assessments. You make sure you're scheduling your mock calls. You make sure you're on those calls. And then you make sure you get certified so that you can start taking live calls, right? So it's really all up to you when it comes to this platform. And I'm not saying you, Asher, specifically, I'm just saying in general. Okay, in general, it is ultimately up to you. Okay. So he said one more thing, but it's a little personal, so I'm not gonna read it. I don't want to put his business out there like that, but yeah. So hopefully this video helped a lot of you guys. Like, honestly, if you guys want more information, I do have a whole playlist. And if you have questions that I haven't already answered in a video, feel free to either email them to me, and you may get a response video like this, or you might get an actual return email. So is there anything that I missed? I don't think there's anything that I missed with that as far as the Q&A. So let's jump onto the platform. We're just going to combine the videos. I normally do like a video of who's available on the platform, yada, yada, yada. But I figured I would just, what? I'm sorry, y'all. That's what I get for trying to read an email. I figured I would just answer those questions. Let me think. Was there anything else? See, we talked about the platform usage fee, $19.75. Registering with the platform and all of that. I think we went over all of the all of the main stuff. So let me log in to my portal, and we're gonna go over who's on the portal, what type of client it is, what department it is, when's the last day you can sign up for class. Oh, hold on, y'all. Let me pick my schedule. The schedule just opened up for the week of the 17th. Hold on, y'all. Let me get my time. All right, so while I'm doing this brings up a good topic. So another thing that you'll have control over too is picking your own schedule. Now you do, of course, you're a contractor, so you do have to meet some requirements based on the client's needs. So how it works is you'll have a minimum amount of time that you have to service. So for me, I have to service at least 15 hours a week, right? And then if I want to do more than that, then I'm able to do more than that. But in order to meet the obligations of my contract, because that's what you get a statement of work, which is your contract saying that, hey, you're providing services from whatever, on behalf of whatever company, whether it's through a Rise, if you sign up as a sole proprietor, or as an IBO. So, right, or the IBO that you service with. So you'll get an SOW, a statement of work. It'll have the start and end date, how much you get paid, what your metrics requirements are, and all of the things, right? So for me, the client that I service, I have to work a minimum of 15 hours a week, right? So right now, the schedule just opened up. So I'm able to choose my initial cap, which is the 15 hours. The 15 hours, and then what's going to happen is the schedule is going to lock. So after everyone's chosen their minimum required hours, because there's different levels depending on your matrix. So if you're not doing that well with your matrix, then you might be the last to be able to pick your hours. If you're doing excellent with your matrix, then you'll probably be one of the first group of people to pick your hours, right? So for me, I have to start off with 15 hours, and then once they release the lock or lift the cap, or however you say, which will be tomorrow around 4 p.m. according to my portal, I can then go back in and add additional intervals. So if I want to work 20 hours that week, if I want to work 30, 40, it depends on what's available, right? A lot of times the max, there's such thing called a max cap, and it just really depends on how many agents are needed. So for the client that I service, a lot of times the max is 45. So that means I can work 45 hours that week if I want to, right? So that's how that works. So I go in, and once it lifts, it becomes available. Are we still recording? Oh, okay. Once it becomes available, I go ahead and get my 15 hours, and then I wait till tomorrow, and then I go in and get whatever else I want, right? And you'll learn more about choosing your schedule. We use a scheduling system, and you'll learn more about that, how to use it, the do's and the don'ts when you're in certification class, okay? Because it can be a little bit tricky. But that's why you go through certification class. So that's what I'm saying. A lot of people be tripping about the certification class, but y'all, you learn so much stuff. Like, there is no way in the world you can get on this platform and just know the information and just start taking calls. Like, that is not even realistic, okay? That's like me working from home for Victoria's Secret, which they are hiring for work from home agents, by the way. But anyway, that's like me working for Victoria's Secret. I don't know the lingo or the verbiage. I don't know their processes. I don't know their procedures, their policies, nothing like that. And then I answer a phone trying to be a Victoria's Secret agent. Girl, it's just not going to work out because I'm not going to know what to do, what to say, what not to say, how to say it, you know, all those things. So y'all, the certification class, like, it's really not that big of a deal. Like, some people make it a big deal, but it's really not that big of a deal. Like, honestly, it's all in the mindset. And that's what I tell people. It's all in the mindset, because if you go into this platform already thinking negatively, then it's not going to work out. And I say that from personal experience because I've had agents, well, I'm not going to say a whole bunch of them, but I've had a couple of agents that went into this very skeptical to the point where it literally did not work out for them because everything was wrong. They found something negative from the moment they registered, and so nothing worked out, you know. And I really feel like it could have worked out if they just weren't too deep into their own thoughts, okay? Because I think sometimes what we do is we take situations and sometimes we make them bigger than what they are, okay? And when it comes to certification class, like, it's really not a challenging thing. It's just really a matter of you showing up. Showing up and taking in the information so that when you jump on these calls with these strangers, because that's who you're talking to strangers, you're supposed to be the expert, or at least sound like you're the expert, and you can't do that if you don't know what to do, right? So that's how I think of it. How else are you going to know what to do unless you go through the certification class? Like, no company is going to just throw you on their phones. I remember one time, I'm going to tell y'all a short story, right? I remember one time MCI, y'all remember that company MCI? And when I first moved here, well, I ain't gonna say when I first moved here, it's like a couple years after, I went to apply for the MCI call center. It was way in Alpharetta somewhere. And girl, I got there, had never had a call center job prior to that. I got all the way out there. The bus ran once an hour. I got all the way out there and I made it to an interview. So I made it to the next step. I went to the first interview. I was called back for a second interview. So I went back to the second interview, and y'all want to know what happened? We went on the floor and the manager took me to a desk. He picked up the phone. He dialed a number and he was like, "Sell the customer." No training, no nothing, right? Girl, I didn't get another interview after that, nor did I get hired, because I literally froze in place. I didn't know what to say because, first of all, I knew nothing really about the company. All I knew was that they were MCI. I didn't know the verbiage. I didn't know their policies. I didn't know their procedures. I didn't even know what their script was, right? And that's what it was. I found out that he put me on the spot like that to see if I could handle the pressure. But because I didn't know what I was going to be doing, I completely failed, okay? So, y'all, I'm telling y'all, just go through the certification class, okay? Because being stuck, frozen on a call because you don't know what to say you don't want to do that. And I'm going to tell you now, Arise is not going to let you do that. The only way they'll put you on a call is when they feel confident enough that you can service the call. If they don't feel confident enough that you can service a call, they're not going to put you on the phones, okay? All right, so hold on, y'all. I'm still picking my time. But yeah, y'all, like I said, it's really a lot of it's a mental thing, you know what I mean? It really is. You know, sometimes you can't, if you go into a situation negatively, if you're already thinking negative, then, you know, you can't really expect any positive to come out of it because you've already kind of set the tone for how you want it to play out. You get what I'm saying? The mind is a powerful thing, and so is the tongue. So if you go into this situation already saying that, oh, this ain't gonna work or that ain't gonna, then it probably ain't gonna work because you done already put it out there into the universe that it's not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? So y'all, this is, you know, I feel like I'm giving y'all a spanking right now because y'all just be doing the absolute most. Like, some of y'all be doing the absolute most. But no, I say that with love though, you guys, because I get it. I was there once too. When I did my first certification class, I was so nervous that I I was making mistakes just out of being nervous. You know what I mean? I was thinking too hard about it. And then once I relaxed and just went with the flow, it was nothing. It was nothing. Right? All right. So hold on, y'all, because I chose a time and now it's saying it ain't available no more. All right, so let's talk about this really quick. So the times, I've had somebody ask me that question a few times. You know, what are the hours? You know, do we have clients where you're able to work overnight? Yes, we do. There are some clients where their hours of operation are from like 9 to 7. Some clients' operations is 24 hours, 365 days a week. We have roadside assistance clients available on the platform. So generally, those would be the ones where, you know, if you're looking for something where you can work overnight or early in the morning, I always recommend people to do the roadside assistance because there's always hours available and they're all day, right? I've had some people come on and wanted to do the overnight shift, and so that's what I would recommend them. I would recommend the roadside assistance to them. But there's others, you know, there's other ones where their hours of operation might start at 7 in the morning and then they don't close till about 11 at night or something like that. So it really depends. And the thing is, when you go onto the platform, we have what we call opportunity announcement. So it's basically like a PDF full of information about that particular client, the expectations, a general idea of what you'll be doing, like a summarized schedule of your certification class by the week. So like this week you'll be doing this week you'll be doing that, blah blah blah, all the way until you get to the end. Requirements as far as if you need to do a drug test or everybody has to do a background check, but not everybody has to do a drug test. There's some clients that don't require you to do a drug test, but there's some that do. All right. Which none of that you have to pay for, by the way. So that's another thing that's different too, compared to back in the day, because when I first got on the platform I had to pay for my background check, but now you don't have to. Okay, so you don't have to pay for your background check, you just submit it, and then you don't have to pay for a drug screening if you're required to do one. So those are the two things you don't have to worry about. All right. I'm trying to think of what else. This is probably going to be a lengthy video because I want to make sure I'm getting all of this information out. Okay, I don't want to feel like I'm leaving anything out, and I don't want you guys to feel like I'm leaving something out, because I'm really not. I'm just trying to think of if there's anything that I need to say before we get into what's available on the platform. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, let's see. Let's see something. I'm trying to pick my schedule. Sometimes I swap it up on how I want to do it for the week. Let me see. Do that like that. Boom. Ooh, hold on. They're not matching up. Oh, let me do this. Okay. So every week you'll be able to choose your schedule, and a lot of times, a lot of times you're choosing your schedule in advance, right? So like, for example, right now I'm choosing my schedule for the week of the 17th. So this is literally like 2 weeks in advance. Okay. I need two more. I need some more time. Okay, what do I want to do? I think I'm going to do that. Okay. All right, so let's jump over into what's actually available on the portal. The thing I want to tell you guys is, if you're kind of concerned about the cost of certification, a lot of times there's what we call info sessions. They hold them generally like every Wednesday, and a lot of times they give out vouchers. So like this past Wednesday, or well, today actually, because today is Wednesday. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong calendar. I need to change my calendar. So today's Wednesday. Oh, today's Tuesday. So today's Tuesday, April 5th. and they're having an ultimate webinar. So this one is basically them talking about all of the clients and stuff like that. But for the most part, they normally have them on either Tuesdays or Wednesdays, and they'll give you like a $10 voucher, a $20 voucher just for attending. Sometimes they'll give everyone who attends one. Sometimes they'll pick like 2 or 3 people that they give it to. So if you're, if you're having a concern about the cost of certification and you want to shave off some of the costs for a particular course that you're interested in, attend one of these one of these info sessions, okay, so that you can get a voucher. So there's one today at noon. So at noon, they're going to hold one, and for this particular one, everybody that attends gets a $10 voucher. All right, so the opportunity. So when you log on to the Arise Virtual Solutions platform, you are going to, the first thing you're going to see is my programs if you're enrolled in a class or servicing a client, and you'll see opportunities. You're going to click on View All Opportunities, okay? And that's where you will get your info. I had to log back in. Okay. That's where you would get your info. Now, prior to enrolling into a certification class, you have to do a assessment, okay? Now, in the past, prior to December of 2021, okay, you used to have to do a assessment for every client you wanted to service, okay? So like, for example, if I wanted to service the Mickey Mouse client, I'm already servicing the client now, but if I wanted to service the Mickey Mouse client, I would have had to take a client assessment. If I wanted to do the home improvement client, I would have had to take a client assessment. So each client that I want to service, I would have had to take a client assessment. Well, as of December 2021, they changed that, okay? So now there's just one client assessment that you take, and it's good for 6 months. So basically, the client that I'm servicing now, if I had already taken this assessment after December, if I've already taken the assessment, I don't have to take it again for 6 months, and I can enroll in whatever client that I want to, right? Versus me picking another client and then got to go through the assessment with no guarantee that I'll even qualify to service, okay? So I'm glad they changed that, because that was also discouraging people from working this platform. When they have to take an assessment for every client that they want to service, and then sometimes it doesn't work out, right? But they changed it. So yeah, if you come to the portal and you haven't taken the client assessment, just go and take the client assessment. Make sure you take it in a quiet place. Don't use your cell phone. Don't use Wi-Fi, okay? Just use your house phone, whatever phone you're going to be servicing from, your headset, whatever, and do it that way. And once you complete it and you're good for 6 months, right? Now, every 6 months you'll be asked to take it again, and it's fine. It's no big deal, because essentially you're taking it twice a year rather than every single time that you want to enroll into a certification course. So I like that, right? Now, the only downfall to that is it's really not a downfall. It's really the same as if it was before. If you don't pass the client assessment, if you don't pass the client assessment or are not successful with it, then you do have to wait 30 days to redo it, right? Which that rule didn't really change. That part of it has always been like that. If you take a client assessment, then you have to wait. There are times in the past where if you took a client assessment and you weren't successful the first time, you could go to tech support and get it reset so that you could take it again. Unfortunately, that's not how it goes this time. So that's like the one little small change. You'll have to wait for 30 days, and no, you can't reset it. So, it is what it is, you guys. I mean, you have to, just like with any job, gig, whatever it is, unless you're the actual business owner, you have to adjust to how the business is being run, okay? That's it, that's all. That's just how it is, Some people don't, they don't like change. They don't like when things change in a company. And like I said, the truth of the matter is, unless you're the actual business owner and it's your company, you have to adapt. And that's just with any job, you know what I mean? whether it be a W-2 or a contracting job. If the owner of the company is making changes, you either go with the changes or you find another job. You know what I mean? So the client assessment, like I said, it's great that you only have to take it twice a year. But the only small downfall to that is that if you're not successful with it the first time, then you can't get it reset. Okay. So yeah, that's how that works. So everybody has to do it, including myself. Like, it literally just came out this year. So I was already servicing a client. So unless I want to service another client, then it's gonna prompt me to take the assessment, because I haven't taken the assessment since before I enrolled in the class. So I'm not sure on how exactly it goes. I heard that it's updated. I haven't actually seen it myself to kind of give you guys some pointers on it. I remember how the old one was, and it was kind of tricky. So hopefully this one isn't as tricky as the last one. And so yeah, so let's go ahead and jump into the clients that are available in case you guys are interested. If you want, there's 3 ways you can enroll to work on the platform. You can enroll as a sole proprietor. Oh, actually there's 2 ways. Wait. Oh, I'm lying. 3 ways. Okay. You can register as a sole proprietor, which means you just, you're in charge of your own stuff, your own payroll and all that. All the information that you need, you're on your own to go get it. That's basically how that's set up. Or you can be a virtual call center agent working through another call center who's already within network of the Arise Virtual Solutions platform. Or you could just start your own virtual call center and become your own IBO within the network of Arise Virtual Solutions. So there's 3 ways you can do it. So the first client on the portal is our energy client. They're on here from time to time, and right now the course cost is $20, $19.99. Okay, and the department they are hiring for, or they're looking for agents for, is customer service sales by phone. All right, the deadline to enroll into the course is April the 11th. The course actually starts on the 27th, and you'll start earning revenue May 13th, or around May 13th. Now I'm saying around because at that point in your certification class is when you have to schedule yourself inside of our scheduling system to take your mock calls or your certification calls, training calls, whatever you want to call them, right? So depending on when you scheduled yourself is when you start getting paid. So if you scheduled yourself on the 13th, you get paid for the 13th, and so on and so on. If you ain't schedule yourself on the 13th, then it's whatever that first day of you taking your mock calls, that's when you start getting your pay, right? You only get paid when you're servicing a call, so keep that in mind. I'm saying around the 13th, but ultimately it depends on when you scheduled yourself to take your calls, okay? So our Mickey Mouse client is on here. They're always on here. This is actually a really good client to start with if you're new to the platform. If you want to do something fairly easy, kind of fun, I would go with the Mickey Mouse client. Right now the course cost is $9.99. The deadline to enroll is on April the 8th, so hopefully I'll get this video up. I'm gonna try to get up today. I'm gonna put it in between my spring cleaning vlog, so this will be like a record same day, post same day type of video. So, and then all my other vlog videos, they'll kind of come after that. So anyway, the course starts May 2nd, and you start earning around, okay, June 16th. All right. Okay, so our next client is a cruise client. We've got several clients that are cruise clients on here. So this one is a cruise client, okay? One of our cruise clients. So they are looking for agents in the customer service by phone. So $9 for the certification course. The deadline to enroll is April the 8th. The course starts on the 18th, and you'll start earning service revenue around May 2nd. All right, so we have another cruise client that's on here for the sales department. It's a different one from the first one. Okay, the course cost is $14.99. The deadline to enroll is April the 11th. The first day of class for you will be April 18th, and then you'll start earning around May 23rd. Okay. All right, so here's another cruise client, different from the first two that I mentioned. So this one is customer service and sales by phone. The one I just mentioned is sales by phone. So this one is $19.99 for the cost. The deadline to enroll is April 10th. The course starts April 18th, and then you start earning around May 5th. Okay. Our home improvement max class. So max classes generally require you to work more. So you have your regular classes that a lot of them are your regular statement of work for the clients. Generally the minimum requirement is 15 hours a week. With the max classes, the minimum requirement for most of these are about 25-30 hours per week. So you're required to work at least 25-30 hours, right? If you can't do that, what happens is you'll get dropped down to the regular class for that client, or the regular SOW for that client, which is probably a minimum of 15 hours per week, but your pay also lowers too. Okay, so just keep that in mind. This one, by the time you see this video, this particular class date will be filled, but I'm gonna tell you about it anyways. Customer service by phone, home improvement company, $29 to start the course. April 6th is the deadline to enroll, which is tomorrow. The course starts on the 20th of April, and then you start earning around May 5th. All right, so from time to time, we'll have opportunities on here for bilingual speakers, so bilingual French and bilingual Spanish. This next client that's available is a tax client, and they are looking for French bilingual speakers. Customer service and tech by phone. The deadline to enroll into this course is April the 8th. The cost of the certification course is $9.99. You'll start your first day of class on April 19th, and you'll start earning around May 18th. Okay, so we have a cruise client on here. This is one of the ones that I mentioned before, but this is sales max. Okay, so remember, the minimum requirement that you have to work in the max SOWs, or statement of works, is different from your regular SOW, right? And if you're not able to fulfill the required hours for the max SOW, then you'll be slid to a regular SOW, and your pay might lower. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Again, so this is cruise client, fun ships, that's what we call it. $29.99 to start the course. The deadline to enroll is April the 11th. The first day of class is April 18th, and you start earning around May 23rd. If you're into sales, this is another client that I would recommend. Like, it's so easy. It just didn't work for me because I'm not a salesperson. I don't like to convince people to do something that they've already told me they don't want to do, right? So I was struggling with that. But if sales is your stitch, your thing, that is the client that I would recommend, because it's so easy. And then they have incentives. You can earn extra incentives on top of your service revenue. So our next client is the same cruise client, but it's customer service only, and it's not a max SOW. So minimum requirement is 15 hours a week, and it's $50 to enroll in the course. The deadline to enroll is April 18th. The course starts on the 25th, and you start earning around May 20th. Okay. So cruise client, this is the first one that I mentioned, but this is a max class. Okay, so this is sales by phone. $30 for the course. The deadline to enroll is April 24th. You start your first day of class May 2nd, and then you start earning around 31st. So I don't know if you guys are kind of picking up on the pattern of this, because a long time ago, you didn't even know how much time you had to enroll in the class. If it was filled, it was just filled. But now they're giving you an idea of when is the last day to enroll in this class, and they're giving you an idea of when you actually start earning service revenue, which is something that didn't used to be mentioned years ago. Okay, so I like the way that they updated this platform, because you're able to get a lot of your questions answered without having to Google stuff and depend on someone else's information. You're able to go to the source and get it yourself. So yeah, so this is sales by phone. So this other client is a timeshare client. Okay, a lot of people like the timeshare client. I hear it's fairly easy as well. I've never serviced it, but I hear that's another easy client to service. So timeshare, they're needing agents to do customer service and sales by phone. So the course cost is $50. The class starts on May 2nd, but the deadline to enroll in the class is April 18th, and then you start earning around May 31st. So again, you can kind of see that, yeah, although you're in class for a little bit, you kind of get an idea of when you actually start earning service revenue. And if you can kind of tell by what I'm saying, it's not that far away. Like, you know, if you start class today, in about 3 or 4 weeks or so, depending on the length of the class, you might start earning revenue. It just depends on the client. So it's not like you're going to be sitting in class for 3 months and then, you know what I mean? It's not like that. And I think some people think that it's like that, but it's not like that. So yeah, so the next one is another cruise client, which this client also offers incentives as well. So you'll get incentives on top of your service revenue. So the earning potential with this platform, honestly, it's going to depend on you. I get that question too, like, can you make money with the platform? Well, of course you can. It's a gig. It's just like any other job. What the question should be is, are you going to actually go to work? You know, because I've had people ask me that, like, hey, can I make full-time income? And I'm like, well, yeah, if you go to work, just like any other job, you can. You know what I'm saying? If you go to work, you can make full-time income with this. Like, for real. It's not a scam. It's not, y'all, I know there's a lot of scams out here. I know there's a lot of MLM companies and stuff like that, but this ain't one of them, okay? Otherwise, I would not have been working the platform for this long if it was, because working a platform for this long knowing that it's a scam will be a total waste of time, and I don't like wasting my time. So you guys, if I'm telling y'all, stop going on Facebook and reading people's opinions and stuff like that and getting the naysay from your neighbors and all that. Go to the source, okay? Go to ariseworkfromhome.com and read the website. Go over the information and look at the website. A lot of us miss the information because we don't like to read, but I'm telling you, reading is fundamental. You'll get a lot of your questions answered just by visiting the website and going through the FAQs and going through each page on the website. I love y'all. So that was pop y'all's hands, because y'all be making stuff harder than what it is, girl. Okay, so our next client here is a bilingual English-French, and this is another roadside assistance client. So this roadside assistance, they are looking for customer service agents by phone. The course cost is $50. They don't have a deadline to enroll just yet, so that'll be updated soon. But your first day of class is going to be May 2nd, and then you'll start earning around May 11th. See what I'm saying? Not even a whole 2 weeks, okay? So y'all, when y'all are enrolling into these certification classes, consider it an investment, okay? And mention it on your taxes. I mean, honestly, okay? When you doing your taxes at the end of the year, any money that you spent doing the Arise platform, make it known. It could be a tax write-off, you guys, okay? All right, so that's English-French, bilingual, roadside assistance. And then we have our timeshare company again, but they're looking for Spanish speakers. So if you're fluent, okay, let me just let you guys know this, okay? Don't come on this platform halfway speaking Spanish and French and think that you're going to be successful with one of these clients, because you're not. They are expecting you to be fluent in either French or Spanish. They don't want you to just know a couple of words. They want you to be able to hold a conversation and understand the conversation. So you must be fluent in either Spanish or French, okay? Don't enroll in these classes because you know 3 Spanish words and think that it's going to work out. Because I guarantee you, every person that calls in is going to be speaking that other language, okay? And you have to understand, you have to know what they're saying, or be able to understand it so that you can service your call successfully, okay? All right. All right, so this is the timeshare bilingual Spanish. So they're looking for customer service sales by phone. The deadline is April 18th to enroll. The first day of class is May 2nd. It's $50 to enroll, and then you start earning around May 31st. See? All right, let's move on because y'all play too much. All right, so cruise client working with travel agents. So travel agent support for this particular cruise client, it's $50. Customer service, sales by phone. April 22nd is the deadline to enroll. You start class May 2nd, and then you start earning around June 3rd. So not even a whole month. Girl, y'all play too much. Okay. So next client is another roadside assistant. So we've got 2 roadside assistant companies on the platform. This one is bilingual Spanish. So the other one was French. This one is Spanish. 2 different companies though. Okay. $50 to enroll. The deadline to enroll is April 27th. You start class May 2nd. Okay. And then you start earning around May 13th. Okay, now these roadside assistance clients, these are ones if you're looking for a client to service overnight or early in the morning or late night, those are the ones I would recommend. Okay, because I'm telling y'all, we all know that roadside assistance is 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Okay, so if you know. All right, so medical client, medical transportation, non-emergency medical transportation. So they are looking for customer service agents by phone. $25 to enroll in the course. The deadline is to enroll is April 21st. The course starts on the 26th, and then you start earning around May 16th. All right, so another tax client here, customer service tech by phone, $50 to enroll. The deadline is to be announced. The course starts though on the 25th, which was in about 3 weeks, and then you start earning around the 26th, which is like 4 weeks later, right? Okay, so that's all of them that are on here today in this very moment that I'm filming this. They change pretty often, you guys. And what I say when I say that is, if a class fills up, another class for a later time may be offered. So like, for example, if this energy class fills up by the 11th and they need more agents, you might see them back on the platform next week with a different certification cost. So don't just register to the platform and then never log back in ever, because I'm telling you, if you log into your platform regularly, then you'll be able to see this stuff. A lot of the stuff you're not going to get an email notification for. So it's really going to take you making an effort and logging in every day, you know, looking at the information, and you'd be surprised. Okay, so now the PDF that I was telling y'all about, I don't want to I was going to do this video as like a share screen, but then I'll be violating the non-disclosure agreement if I do that. So what I'm going to say is there are ways to learn more about the client. Okay, so at the bottom of the box, you're going to see enroll, get started, view flyer. That's what you click on, view flyer, or you can watch the video. They even have videos for some of these. So when you click on the flyer, it's a PDF, and it's going to pop up on a different browser. It may even download it to your computer automatically, but you'll be able to go on there and see everything. Okay, class times offered, class schedule, intervals available, special servicing requirements, about the actual client, information about the actual client, system and equipment requirements. Some clients require you to use a flash drive, so we call it an ASD, a RISE secure desktop, and this is basically where you have a little flash drive that's compatible to the platform, and that's where you'll be doing your work from. All your systems and everything comes up when you plug this flash drive in, and then it's all removed when you take the flash drive out. I have mixed feedback with the ASD. Me personally, we don't use, my client that I'm servicing right now, we don't use ASD. I just turn on my computer and go. But there are clients that do require you to have this flash drive, and all of that, and then you have to set it up and everything. I get, like I said, I get mixed feedback. Some people enjoy it, they think it's easier. Some people don't enjoy it because of the tech issues or whatever the case is. But you know, it just depends on the client. Some require you to have it, some don't. It also goes into like security stuff. So, you know, again, drug screening, affidavit of identification, background checks, stuff like that. There's two things that everybody has to do across the board. That's your affidavit of identification, which is you basically identifying yourself, and the background check. Okay, everybody has to do that. All right, and then it goes into your certification details and blah, 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 blah. Some of these PDFs are going to be a little lengthy. Some of them are going to be really short, but all of the information is there. The only thing that you won't see if you are a call center agent working under a different call center, the only thing you won't see is the service revenue. If you're sole proprietor, then you'll see the service revenue. If you're an IBO, then you'll see the service revenue. It'll be on that PDF. If you are an agent working under an established call center, like if you're one of my agents and you pull open your PDF, you won't see the service revenue. But I always tell my agents what the service revenue is, because I personally pay what Arise pays. Okay. All IBOs run their call centers differently, but I like to keep things simple and I don't like to take shortcuts. So I just do it the right way, or the way that I feel works best. Excuse me. And if you sign up as an agent under my call center, then during your registration process is when you get the client pay list. Some of the clients have increased their revenue, so that's been fun. And that's also a good thing too, because inflation, everything is going up. So it's good that Arise is trying to meet that, okay, by increasing the revenue. So yeah, y'all. So you have all of the information. Like, it's just really a matter of just doing the research. And if someone's telling you something, hey, take it in, but also go do your due diligence and check behind them, because things change over time. Just like with the email, the person was saying that they heard it cost hundreds of dollars versus what it is now. And yes, that was true. Years ago, it was hundreds of dollars to start servicing on the platform years ago, right? Like literally right before I came onto the platform. That's when back in 2016, that's when they got rid of a lot of things and they dropped the prices. Okay. So, but prior to that, yes, it was a lot, because you would have to pay for, again, CSP 101, which was like $100. And then you paid for your certification course, which at that time was right. And then your background check, which the only amount that I've known of is $10. So yes, it was pretty expensive. And this is before you even got to your first day of class. Okay. So yes, it was expensive. But again, you guys, information changes so much, especially now with this whole pandemic thing. Information is going to change. And so that's why I always say, do your due diligence, go to the website, watch my playlist if you need to. It mirrors exactly what you're going to find on the website, with a few exceptions pertaining to just me as an IBO in general. And yeah, the information is there, you guys. You never have to guess, okay? You never have to guess when it comes to this platform. It's just a matter of doing research. So hopefully that helped some of you guys. I have some newcomers to this channel, so I appreciate that. I was looking at my analytics and I've got a whole lot of viewers to this channel that are not subscribed, but it's all good. If you guys find it in your heart to subscribe, it doesn't cost you anything. It's free. And it helps the algorithm. And if you guys comment and give the video a thumbs up, it helps the algorithm and it helps YouTube to push the videos out more. So if you feel like this information will be beneficial for somebody that you know, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Give the video a thumbs up so that, like I said, the algorithm can push the video in front of more people. So if you guys have any questions that I have not answered in this video or in another video that I posted, please feel free to hit me up on my email. It's in the description, and I will see you guys in another video. Bye.